Hello all, welcome to Simplified Bio by Siddesh. So this is your Siddesh, a biology teacher. So in this video, let us discuss about the 8th standard CBSE or NCERT new chapter, that is crop production and its management. Okay, so crop production and its management. Eighth CBSE. Okay, so in this chapter, we were discussing about different practices. So what we can do in agriculture. Okay, so think that all the organisms. So we know that all the living organisms need food to survive, isn't it? So when you are talking about human beings, especially, so human beings need different kinds of food and different kinds of nutrient to survive, and those nutrients are getting from food what we are growing or what we are cultivating, isn't it? So India is a vast country with a huge population. Okay, we have around 140 crores of population in India. So do you think is it easy to provide food for all 140 crores people? Is it it is not so easy, right? So yes, we can make easy. So when we produce regularly and we can provide food for each and every one. So when we provide food, so for the first one, so when regular production, and the second one, management, proper management and distribution. Okay, so if you distribute it properly, so proper management as well as distribution, by doing this, so we can provide food for each and every person who are present in our country. Okay, so when you're talking about this, so what do you mean by crops? What do you mean by crops, I'm asking. Can anyone just define yourself by saying this? What do you mean by crops? Yes, crop is nothing but crop. So when same kind, okay, you just remove one. So same kind of plants growing at one place on a large scale. On a large scale is called crops. Okay, so once again repeat the definition for crop. So same kind of plants growing at one place. Okay, growing at one place. For example, so you have a land. So in this land, so what you are doing? So if you are growing any one kind of plant, example, if you take paddy, okay, so rice if you are growing, so all these field consists of rice, or ragi if you are growing, all these consists of ragi or wheat or any kind of vegetables. Okay, so think you are growing a large scale. So if you are growing only very small area, we cannot, so one or two plants, we cannot call it as a crops, isn't it? So you are growing in a large area, so that too, so one plant if you grow ragi here and one more plant chili and one more plant mango, it is not like that. Okay, so what we are doing, so whatever the crop we are growing, all it should be same kind of plants, and all we are growing in a large scale at one place. So you are growing around 5 to 6 paddy plants here, and somewhere else away from this, 1 kilometer away from this, if you are growing one more 5 more paddy plant, that we cannot call it as a crop. So the best definition is same kind of plants growing at a large scale in one place. Okay, this is what you can call crops. Okay, so can you give us some example for different kinds of crops? Yes, exactly. Okay, so that is cereals, vegetables, and fruits. Okay, so cereals, vegetables, and fruits, and also so some commercial foods like spices and all. Okay, so these are the different types of food that we can able to see and that we can able to grow. So based on the season, we have three more different types. So based on the season, crops can be based on season. So calf can be of crops, three types. The first one is Kharif. The first one is Kharif. So what do you mean by Kharif crops? So that we are distinguishing based on the season. Okay, we are categorizing based on the season. So Kharif crops is nothing but the crops grown in which season? So the crops which are grown in rainy season. That means so sown in June and harvested in September month. Okay, so September. So in the month of September, if you are harvesting, so in the month of June, if you are sowing, so then such kind of plant or such kind of crops can be called as Kharif crops. So example, so very important questions. You may get the questions in exam. So to define Kharif and give example. What do you mean by Kharif crops? And give example, or what are the different types of crops based on the season? Explain with the example. Okay, so example for this is paddy, maize, soya bean, and then cotton, and you can also give groundnut. Okay, so these are the different examples for Kharif crops. Okay, so what are Kharif crops? Kharif crops are the crops which are grown in rainy season, that is from June to September. Okay, the duration of this Kharif crops is from June to September. Such kind of crops can be called as Kharif crops. Example very important. So you may get the questions in case of competitive exams. So odd one out or any kind of questions, you just find out the which is what you can call Kharif crop out of this. They may give different crops and which included maize or which included soya bean. Soya bean is one of the option and remaining three are other options. So at that time you have to pick soya bean or cotton if they are given cotton, or groundnut if they are given groundnut. Okay, so they may ask and they may give different options. Option A, so something like P. Option B, something like tomato. Option C, something like gram. And option D, cotton. So which one we will pick? So exactly, obviously we will pick cotton. So okay, so cotton is the Kharif plant. Like that you may get the question. Even in it is very helpful for different kind of competitive exams too. Understood? So let us move on to the next type of crop based on the season, that is Rabi crops. Okay, so we talked about rainy season. So now the crops grown in winter season. The crop grown in winter season, that is from October to March. Okay, so October to March. That means it can be sown in October and harvested in March. Okay, so these are the crops. These are, what kind of crops they are? The crops which grown in winter season. So that means they can be sown in October and can be harvested in March. Such kind of crops can be called as rabi crops. So what do you call them? Rabi crops. Example for this is, so you can give example for this is like wheat, pea, gram, linseed, okay, mustard, etc. Okay, these are the best examples for rabi crops. Again, so they may ask in different exams. Okay, so hope you understood. So the last one, that is zaid crops. So the left out season is summer, right? So the crops which grown in summer season again starts from March to June. Okay, so March to June. So example for this is mainly we will go with vegetables. Okay, so it can be vegetables like tomato. Okay, so and then so you'll be having bitter gourd. Okay, and then pumpkin, etc. So these are the different types of zaid crops. So come again, once again, based on the season we have different crops, that is kharif crop, rabi crop and zaid crops. When you are talking about the kharif crops are the rainy seasonal crops. We are grown in rainy season. Example is paddy, maize, soybean, cotton, groundnut, etc. So when coming to rabi crops, the crops grown in winter season, so which can be sown in October and harvested in March. So it can be like wheat, pea, gram, linseed, mustard, etc. So when coming to the last one, so it is not mentioned in your NCERT textbook. So it will be useful for your competitive exam, so that I am giving. Okay, so zaid crops may be the crops which grown in summer season, so which can be, the duration may be like from March to June. Example, most of the vegetables can be grown in this seasons. Examples like tomato, bitter gourd, pumpkin, etc. Okay, so this is about different seasonal crops. Yeah. So see, if you want to grow, so you should have some practices, right? So practices in the sense there should be like sequence. So if you want to grow a crop, there should be a sequence, isn't it? Say for example, if you are eating something in the sense, so first, so if you are eating lunch or if you are eating dinner, so with the chapati, first you will eat chapati and then you will eat rice, isn't it? So in the same way, first you will not eat rice, then you will not eat chapati. Okay, so there is a sequence. First you will eat chapati and then you will go for rice. In the same way, so here also, so we have to follow it in a sequence, in an order. Okay, so and that is what you can call some basic agricultural practices. Okay, so what do you mean by this basic agricultural practices? So what are those basic agricultural practices? So these are the activities so which we follow. Okay, the activities which are followed by the farmers to produce crops, isn't it? So to produce crops, So these are the activities which are followed by the farmers to produce crops. So what are those basic agricultural practice that we follow? We in the sense farmers. Okay, the first one is preparation of the soil. Preparation of soil. The second one is sowing. After preparing the soil, you'll go to sow the seeds, and then so providing manure and fertilizers. Okay, so then irrigation. That means you're going to provide water to the croplands, and then so you'll protect those croplands from weeds. Okay, protection from weeds, and then so you'll be having harvesting. So then so you will store the food what you have produced. Okay, so these are the some basic agricultural practices which we have to follow. Out of that, the first one is you are going to prepare the soil, isn't it? So first you will prepare the soil, and then you will sow the seeds, and then you will provide manure and fertilizers to the crops, and then you'll go for providing water, and then you will protect from the weeds, and then so once after growing the crops, you will harvest it and you will clean it, and then you will store for